He's going to make us laugh, he's going to make us cry, he's going to make us think, and he's going to inspire us a little bit.
Please join me in welcoming Bill Hogg.
It's about leadership, and you are the leaders in your organization. Is that how you feel when you walk into work every day? No? And when we carry that into the office, and we don't bring this kind of a positive attitude, what signal are you sending to the people in your organization? You're sending a very clear signal that you're not at the top of your game. And if you're not at the top of your game, then how can you expect them to be at the top of theirs? Your number one goal, your number one objective as a leader is to lead, and is to lead by example. And that's the interesting thing about change, is that we all hear it, we all understand it, we've all heard the presentations, we've all read the articles, haven't we? But yet, we choose to ignore it. When I talk about the values of an organization, I often talk about the fact that it must be led from the top. If you want to connect with people, you have to connect with them emotionally. I love my job, and I do. I mean, what's not to love? I mean, I don't know, how many of you people got up this morning, went to start your day to a room full of applause? Now, I got to be honest, my days don't always start like that, by the way. When I come downstairs, it's not like my kids are going, "Oh, Dad's here, it's so great to see you." Do you love your job? And if you do love your job, how does that attitude come forward day in and day out when you interact with the folks that you work with? And if you don't love your job, how does that attitude get communicated to the people that you work with? If you're not doing your job well in terms of engaging people, then your organization is going to suffer. Thanks for taking the time to see me in action. Stay tuned for more clips. People inherently resist change, even positive change that's beneficial, because it's hard, it's messy, and it's painful, and we rarely get it right the first time. In this keynote, I introduce my 3P change equation, and I cover real-life lessons, proven principles, and bulletproof systems that tap into the emotions of change and start moving individuals and organizations towards a higher performing culture. If you want to get an organization fired up and focused, set your expectations and then hold them to it. Values are not something you do by consensus or by vote. Values is something that senior people believe in or are committed to, and then they build an organization that helps bring those values to life every day. We start to bring clarity to the organization. And now we change how we have conversations with people, because we don't say things like, "We'd like you to be better." What we can say is, "We like to see this specifically." People know what it is their expectations are. I kind of like this visual because, as you can appreciate, when you're sitting on top of the elephant and you're rationally telling that elephant where to go, that's great until the elephant decides to go somewhere else. And then what chance does a 180, 200-pound person sitting on top of a 6-ton elephant have to move things forward? And for me, they represent the two parts of the brain, the two elements of the brain, the rational and the emotional. And all too often, when we talk about change, we're really, really good at explaining the whys and talking about all the rational reasons for why change is so important. And we forget to get people engaged emotionally. And I believe that culture is about community, because you're building a community. Maureen made the reference to the fact of a tribe. This is your community. And when she talks about everybody descending here, and you all had a couple chuckles about, what she talked about, the things you did, it's because you all related to that. You say, "Yeah, that's me. I recognize myself in that tribe." So when you build an organization, you're actually building a tribe, or you're building a community. And you need to do that with intention. It changes your perspective. Look into what you do. What's behind what you do? It's to facilitate something that has a higher purpose. So you want to make sure that you're clear on that and that your team is clear on that. One of the key things you want in a vision is you want inspiration. If you can't get excited about your vision, if people can't get excited about it, how are they going to get aligned with it? How are they going to get behind it? How many people here have heard empower your people? Right? So they said, we are going to empower our people. So they said to people, use your best judgment. I still shudder when I hear those words. Use your best judgment. People's judgments suck. And how do you have the conversation? What's your name?
Liz.
Liz. So I say, Liz, use your best judgment. Then she does something that I think is, oh my God, what is wrong with this woman? Why did she do that? How's that conversation going to go? Liz, I'm concerned about what you did in this situation. And what Liz is going to say is,
It was my best judgment.
it was my best judgment. Where do I go now? Your judgment sucks. Everyone talks about the importance of customer service, yet few companies do it well. The brutal truth is, 75% of customers wouldn't hesitate to switch to the competition because companies have not built the emotional connections that create customer loyalty. In this keynote, I share proven principles, real-life lessons, and tools that create and nurture a customer-focused culture. An exceptional customer experience is not your goal. Now, some of you may be sitting here thinking, well, has Bill lost his mind totally? Did he not get enough sleep last night? Or potentially, maybe he had a little too much to drink at lunch. So let me repeat myself. Exceptional customer service is not your goal. Now, how many of you have heard or read some of the CEOs of the top companies in North America saying customer service is the foundation of our business success for the future? Are they wrong? How could they be wrong and I be right? Well, let me tell you, customer service is not your goal. An exceptional customer experience is an outcome. Satisfaction is worthless, loyalty is priceless. Absolutely essential. If you're not putting in place programs that is building loyalty with your customers, then your business is on a very weak foundation. So you've got to constantly be on the lookout for how am I going to do something over and above to try to build loyalty with my patrons. So that's why I say satisfied customers are killing your business. They're not doing anything for your business. And frankly, if all you're ever able to do is provide satisfaction, then you are kind of at the bare minimum and you make one misstep and you're falling over the edge and they're telling their friends and they're going to the competition and you have no ability to get them back. Our goal is to make sure our customers are all satisfied with our work. Could you set your bar any lower? I mean, really satisfied as you say, well, we just want to be slightly above pissed off and frustrated. Today, more than ever, we need courageous leaders in business, schools, and communities. We need leaders that inspire and empower others to reach new heights they never thought possible. In this presentation, I share characteristics I've observed working with and interviewing leaders in Fortune 500, entrepreneurial organizations, public sector, politics. And the essential leadership qualities are the same and more relevant today than ever. Are we helping our people feel valued? Corporations, organizations have no values. So make sure that you're comfortable with the values of yourself and the values of the organization, because a corporation cannot have a value because a corporation is only an individual based on paper. The values of an organization are based on the senior team and the people that work in that organization. One of the things that I do when I do big town halls is I let people know if it's a full day session, for example, you come back late for the session, you sing a song or you tell a joke. And I always give them the opportunity of saying, now if when you come in late, and we mark your name down on this board for showing up late, you have the opportunity to convince the group that your reason for being late was quite important. Thus far, no one has ever been exempted in any meeting I've ever done. And I had the CFO of Exhibition Place come in one day, and I mean, he had a call from a counselor. Sorry, I gotta go. Yeah, I got a meeting with my peeps. So he's on the phone. He comes in late, and I guess he knew it because when he comes walking in the door, he actually we said, okay, you're going to have to sing a song or tell a joke. He got up and he started into about a 3 to 5 minute comedy routine. These one-liners. It was like awesome. But look at what it said. He said, I'm accountable, I accept accountability, and we got an insight to him as a person that we would never, ever have had if we hadn't have done that. It was transparent. If you have that kind of role, your values influence the value of the organization in terms of how you behave, people you hire, expectations you set for them. I'm reminded of a friend and mentor I worked with when he was the CEO of a very large organization. And he worked in downtown Toronto, and if you've ever been in downtown Toronto, morning traffic is terrible. So he would like to come in early and beat the traffic. And typically he would get in the office, he would be one of the first to arrive, he would go into the kitchen and he would make some coffee, and while he was waiting for the coffee to be made, he would empty the dishwasher. And this is the CEO of the organization. So here's what would happen. People, as they would come in the morning to pick up their coffee, they would run into Bob. And as you can appreciate, Bob's emptying the dishwasher, waiting for the coffee. They would jump in and they would help to empty the dishwasher. And so what happened is that people very quickly realized that if they wanted to get a couple minutes with Bob, all they had to do was come in early, help clean the dishwasher, have a coffee, and they could have a conversation with him. Now, this did a few things in this organization. First of all, the dishwasher got emptied. And that in and of itself is a remarkable achievement. But more importantly, by this simple action, Bob set the tone for the entire organization. He let people know he was approachable. He let them know that he was prepared to do whatever it took to move the organization forward, even if it was something as potentially insignificant as a dishwasher. When you have clarity around your values, guess what? You're able to find people with like values. And when you start to find people with like values, then you start to build a team where you're all thinking the same way. There's 3 elements of accountability. Hold yourself accountable first. Leaders lead. They start. They don't tell other people what to do. They lead by example. That's leadership. That's the integrity of leadership. Are you ready to stimulate change?